It's time for the question of the day. Hot takes and toast.
Chugging along.
Little late. We usually do this at 7:30, but we had David Smoke on, and he has about 1 million opinions on college football, and he's in Waco, and Utah's playing Baylor, and it's the perfect time to have him on, and we love having him on. But now, you put this on hold. I have a lot to say about the Utah Jazz. That was PK about an hour ago. All right, we got a window here. Let's do it. What do you have to say about the Utah Jazz after they beat the punchless Indiana Pacers senseless?
I want to see Ace Bailey get 25 a game, and I'm talking about minutes, and as a starting point. And I don't care if it disrupts what Will Hardy wants. I don't care if he misses an assignment.
I think it's what Will Hardy wants.
Well, yeah, it's what he wants. I get that. But if Ace Bailey fails to rotate a time or two, or he makes repeated mistakes, I don't care anymore. No, don't send him to the F&G League.
I don't think that's the way this is trending.
How many points did Cody Williams score in the G League, and what has it done to advance his game? How many points did Taylor Hendricks score in the G League, and what has it done to advance his game? Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, I don't think Ace Bailey's G League bound. I don't think you have to worry about that.
Oh, well, I don't want to worry about it. I don't want him sitting the bench. I want him 25 from here on out. And I don't care if he screws up. Let him play through his mistakes. Oh, well, you have to worry about the locker room. Bleep the locker room.
I believe they're already at that point.
Ace Bailey, well, they just started him. This is only his second game.
Yep.
So
but I don't think it's going the other way now. I think it was.
So then they've come to the same conclusion I have.
I believe that to be true. I would be, and I don't know that. Nobody's told me anything, but I would be surprised if I didn't see him in the starting lineup.
You're on the inside when it comes to the Jazz, not me.
No.
I'm literally on the outside. So I want this kid in there playing. He makes mistakes. BFD, big fetch and deal. Let him play through it.
I think there are other guys who've had their rookie year, or in some cases maybe their rookie year and their second year, and they started out, and there have been performances where they have made mistakes, and they have gone to the bench, sometimes for longer, some guys for shorter periods, some guys for longer periods, and Ace has got this upside, and judging from what Will says, and you can't say everything, but I think Will generally says about as much as can be said. I think he's upbeat. I think he's upbeat on the way Ace is taking in the new information and learning stuff and figuring it out. And he knows there's a lot to learn and a lot to figure out. But the minutes have been ticking up. We were talking about this with David Locke. The minutes have been ticking up more quickly than Locke was talking about when he was on. And they had that terrible performance where it didn't look like anybody in the starting lineup was ready to go in Minnesota. And I think everything you just said was Will and the coaching staff looking at each other on the weekend because they play Saturday and Sunday like, why not? Why not? That was horrific. The rest of us can turn the channel. Having to sit there and watch that on Friday, hey, the second and third year guys, we've been trying to warm them up here for a year or two. Here's a guy who's a camp and a summer league and 10 games in, and he seems to be progressing. And let's give it a shot. How could it go worse? Well, and it hasn't gone poorly. And they started giving him the more starter minutes. We have seen the minutes. He's had minutes where he's been playing 23, 24 minutes a game instead of being in the teens where he was the first couple weeks of the season. So it looks like from giving him more minutes to moving him to the starting lineup, the feedback he's getting, which obviously we're not all privy to, he seems to be adapting to. I think the arrow's up. And you're right, it's only 2 starts, and maybe something will happen, but I'd be surprised.
I don't want to hear anymore, well, they have to earn the minutes. I get that. That's right there in Coaching Manual 101.
Right. And I think the conversation with other players is he's earned them. You haven't. Here's the bar. You got to meet the bar.
But even if he struggles, which he's going to struggle.
There'll be some, sure. They know that.
I don't want him going back. I want him continue to be able to play through it. Unless he's a flat-out dog and doesn't want to work and shows no initiation or inspiration or aggressiveness, which I don't think is going to happen. Otherwise, I don't care. I don't care if somebody if player X is upset. I'm working just as hard, and I'm not getting the minutes. I don't care about the locker room and what they think or what they feel anymore. I'm done with that.
There's a pecking order. There's a guy who's a top 5 pick who's looking pretty good.
Right.
And there's people who are top 10, top 20, top 30 or 35 picks who are struggling up and down in the second and third year, and this guy seems to have the jet fuel in the first year.
Or they're veterans. I don't care.
Yeah.
I would go to the point of practically playing him more than Markkanen.
So that's the thing is, how quickly does he start playing 30 minutes a game? How much can he sustain this?
Thursday night.
He's been
whatever his conditioning is, I don't know that.
Right.
What can he do?
I just wonder when you see him going 28 and 26
the
minutes.
Teams and all that.
They've got the science teams, and they're playing 3 times in 4 nights.
So, yeah, they need
but he's at 28 and 26 in the last 2 games. 30's right around the corner. So,
but
30,
I'm
35.
fine with that.
Yeah.
I always thought if you played more than half the game, you have an opportunity to impact the game.
Right.
It's harder when you're playing 10 minutes. But if you're going 20, that's why I put the standard at 25.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can get to the point where he's playing 30, 35 minutes, great. But right now, I want to see 25 minimum. And if he makes mistakes, if his teammates get frustrated with him, tough. Because he's the future. And if you're going to ever get out of this, you're going to need him to be playing at a high level. That's just a fact. They've already been doing it with Markkanen, and they suck. So he's good.
He's good. You need more.
Approximately 0 defensive rebounds last night.
And that compares how to a dead man? The quote that will stay with you the rest of your life.
Right. I looked at that. The guy did 3.
Do you remember that? Because I think Rick said
rebounds?
that. I think Rick Majerus said that more than once.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the first time you heard it?
It was probably in relation to Van Horn.
Yeah.
Because he was hardest on
the players who are the best.
Right.
And he saw Van Horn's.
Britain had some issues there.
Right, yeah. He saw Van Horn's massive talent.
Yeah.
And he was going to crack on him.
Right. And the guy,
period. End of story.
The guy knew talent.
Right. And who was the number 2 pick in the draft?
Right.
Keith Van Horn.
So I can remember they were playing in Maui, and they're lining up on free throw, and they're on the defensive end. Mm-hmm. And remember, Joe Smith from Maryland gets the rebound over Van Horn because Van Horn didn't block him out aggressively enough. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I made a mental note. Oh, I'm going to hear about this in the postgame. He's a punching bag. Did you see that? And I said to myself, oh, this is coming. I knew it. I knew it was going to come because you get to know the coaches you're covering and you know what gets under their skin.
Yeah.
And I knew that particular play, because that play is inexcusable to allow an offensive rebound off a missed free throw.
We have seen a mix of inexcusable stretches and starts. That some of the stretches have been right at literally the start of the game, and I think that's why. Because I wouldn't have guessed everything you say. There's even if people disagree, they have to agree. There's at least some truth in what you just said, as far as him being the future and he needs minutes and all that, right? Now, is now the time but there have been so many truly horrific stretches in these first handful of games. And there are different guys, and we don't get to be in the shoot around, so we don't know specifically. They're sometimes told, don't rotate to that guy, right? We'll live or die with that guy's shot. A good example would be a playoff series with a different coaching staff. We'll live or die with that guy's shot. And so sometimes when we're sitting here watching, we're like, why didn't you rotate? Well, maybe they were told not to in that case, right? But the coaches know. And when you're giving up these 29-6 runs, it's like, guys, you're not as good, but could that be a 17-10 run? Does it have to be 29-6? There have been effort and energy and focus issues. And I think Ace Bailey has been coming down on the right side of that line way more often than not. And as much as it's his talent, I think it's that stuff that's got him mixing up the lineups. I think that time does have to be earned. Other guys haven't earned it. There are specific mistakes being made that have been coached up in practice and in shoot around, and guys haven't gotten over the line. They haven't done it right. They haven't finished the deal. So, a little opportunity, maybe a little more early for Ace Bailey than I would have guessed. But here it is, and he seems to be handling it well. And I don't think you see the effort, energy, focus issues with him. Look at the lineup when that happens. Like, he wasn't in the starting lineup in Minnesota on Friday. And we talked about it Monday, and it was a disaster, and you weren't really interested in talking about what a disaster was. I found it almost revolting. That was a horrific start to a game. I don't think it's an accident that he went into the lineup on Monday. If I thought it was horrific, when I did the pre-half and post with Pace and Thurl for 5 years, I started to understand Jerry Sloan a lot better. And I'd already been in the market like 13 years. I'd been in plenty of his shoot-arounds and his post-game media availabilities. But the frustration when the guys don't answer the bell, when you know they're good enough to, I can specifically remember sitting one night and I was answering emails, and they were down 20 in the first quarter. It was in the Boozer-Okur era. They were, and then Boozer-Williams-Okur, that group. And I'm answering emails, and Pace is like, aren't you going to watch the game? I looked up, and it was a reflex reaction, PK. I'm like, they don't care. Why should I? It was like 34-10. They were getting drilled. They were way better than that. And he just kind of shrugged. I'm like, that's why Jerry gets up and goes nuts. These guys put so much time and effort into it. When the players don't have the focus or the energy or the effort, coaches want to lose their minds, and they can't because they'll lose their jobs. They can't go out and criticize guys by name. They all know it. We all know it. The players have such power, but it drives the coaches nuts. We worked so hard to get ready for this moment, and now this is what we get. I think what we're seeing from Ace Bailey, aside from the fact that he's tall and he's long and he's athletic and he's talented, he seems to be super interested in making the most of every possession. So he's in the lineup because of his talent, obviously. But, man, I don't think it's an accident he went in after that disaster of a game on Friday in Minnesota. They're like, hey, we've been talking to some of these guys for 2 years. That's what we're going to get? Believe it. Let's play the rookie, see what he's got. Minimum, we're going to send a message. If he's not up to the moment, we'll find out soon enough. But I bet they thought he was up to the moment. And sure enough, 2 pretty good performances out of him in these 2 starts.
I don't want any turning back now. There'll be times when he's not up to the moment.
Yep.
But I don't care. I want him to play through the moment. Oh. It would be like Aaron Roderick isn't going to now bench Bachmeier.
That doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
He said he had a bad game. He said Aaron Roderick in his media availability yesterday. It finally happened. He had a bad game. All right, he had a bad game. Yeah, we get it. And against a very good team.
And then A-Rod, of course, was smart enough to say, so did we all.
Yeah, including me, is what he said. Yep. So with that in mind, he's right back at it, and away we go, and they play the ball game on Saturday night. Ace Bailey's going to have some bad games. I don't want them to say, well, it's not his night. Come over here, son. No, I want him to play through it all. See what he's got. And what do you have here? I mean, Hendricks has the injury, so it's not really fair to evaluate him. But what do you have in these other guys that you have drafted? Do you know yet? I want, by the time we've got to April, I want them to think, yes, Ace Bailey, obviously I hope it works out, but I want them to think, okay, he's this player, he's that type of player. We'll see. We have a nice evaluation. Now, it's not complete. It's not like the book is closed because it will go into his second year, but the expectation will be set. And last year, sitting Cody Williams or sending him to the G League, what good did that do?
What good is playing him done? I don't know. Is he the guy or is he a bust?
What's the best way to find out?
Play him.
Yeah.
Then you know.
If you're going to lose, find out. Have some discovery.
They may have already.
And maybe they have.
Maybe they have. They figured it out.
Maybe they think that was not a good pick.
Oops.
Okay, well.
Oops.
It happens, and it'll happen again. No one's perfect at this. So, fine. But I want to make sure that that's not what they do with Ace. Let him run. He is like a caged gazelle. Let him go.
You know, it's so crazy to me that there was all that draft stuff and where do you want to play and all that, and it was so driven by his agent, and it was, people find it distasteful, and this is what's wrong with the NBA. How dare this rookie? Like all that stuff is the only reason they got him. And it doesn't seem to be his personality at all. We're not seeing any hints of that.
No,
Crazy.
Not yet. And I think maybe some of that is in the media world in which we live. I got to get some attention on me. So I'm going to put this out there. Some coach just said that. They put my name out there, and it affects me, my family, all of our staff. Who was that? He just said it like in the last day or two. And my name is associated with this. They just put my name out there like it's for real, and then away you go. And then I saw something with our guy, Donnie Osmond, yesterday, where he said, there's a bunch of stuff out there. If it doesn't come from my verified account, don't believe it. And he has to go on. This man is like 66, 67 years old. He's been an entertainer for literally 60 years, and he's got to put out stuff at this point in his life that, don't believe this stuff. It's not true. If it doesn't come from me, don't believe it. But I wonder how much that, oh, man, I got the story. Ace Bailey's guy, man. Blah, 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 blah. Well, it turns out in the end it wasn't true, because here he is, and he's balling. And he seems to have a smile on his face most of the time.
All the time. His energy, upbeat. Yeah.
So I wonder how much of that was just fabrication in the media world, which is why the public has about zero trust in media today.
Why did those two teams pass on him then, when it seemed like he was guaranteed to be the third pick?
Because maybe they bought into it. I don't know. It doesn't mean it's true. And the guys they drafted so far have been okay.
I think in this case, I get your point, and there's certainly examples of that, but I think in this case, that representative is gone. I think some stuff happened.
Okay, fine.
The other firm came in, and
but the Jazz didn't. Why did the Jazz didn't pass on him?
To me, it just felt like a big game of poker, and the Jazz decided, okay, we're going to push the chips in and call. And let's
so
not
did they have more information than Charlotte and Philly?
That is something that we're not going to get told, and I would love to know. Yeah, who did they know that they knew something? There's a lot of weird stuff that happens around drafts. And, how Karl Malone slipped to the Jazz is a weird story. And decades later, how Ace Bailey slips is a weird story. But, I mean, that's part of what they get paid for, is to figure out when it's a bluff and call the bluff. And they did. Yeah. So, all right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.